Hey everyone, welcome to Teach Online TV. My guest today is a sales funnel success strategist, which I know is something that many of you are very interested in. So we're going to be talking about sales funnel success and success with sales funnels. She also has a Facebook group for female entrepreneurs. Female entrepreneurs collaborate with over 11,000 members collaborating on their businesses. And is an expert in everything from coaching and training to passive revenue and, of course, sales funnels. I'm really excited to welcome you to the show, Stephanie Nickolich, and looking forward to hearing from you about some of your successes so far with your online business. And it sounds like it's going amazingly well.
It is. It's really good. This was my second attempt. So I'll just say that first time, not so much, but I learned a lot of stuff in the way. So it's been a really exciting journey every day. It's like the world opens up. So I'm really excited to talk about it. There's a lot of really cool things going on, and I can't wait to share with everybody here today.
Excellent. And the best play, if people are looking to get a hold of you, is it stephanienicklich.com and then the Female Entrepreneurs Collaborate Facebook group?
That is perfect. Yes.
Okay. And we'll put the links in here as well for people. Great. So the sales funnel side, that's really an interesting one to me. I always love to hear how people are doing their sales funnels. Any light on that area that you want to shed or special strategies that you can dive into?
Yeah. So sales funnels are 100% lucrative in your business. I didn't start off like fully immersed building sales funnels, mapping out sales funnels for people because I didn't have one in my own business. But it was kind of like when the freedom really actually started to exist because of sales funnels being set up. And let's just start just in case everybody doesn't necessarily know, what is a sales funnel?
Yes,
I don't really know what the Webster's dictionary says about a sales funnel, but what I feel like a sales funnel is it's like a system that's running seamlessly behind the scenes that basically allows you to leverage your greatest gifts, your greatest skills, your greatest strengths in a way that you don't have to be present. So it's operating. It's a bunch of pieces that are happening behind the scenes that get people from that point of interest in who you are, what you do, what you offer, to becoming a paid client, and then moving them down into higher price point products, services, programs, whatever it is. And so it's like offering them nurturing throughout this, building your relationships with people, but it's all happening on rinse and repeat. So you can be on a plane making sales, sleeping, making sales, out with your family, making sales. All these things can be happening and you can still be making money, because if you want to build something that's scalable and sustainable, end of story, you need a sales funnel in place. So I became a new mommy recently. So once I was like, oh my God, here I am, I'm pregnant. Holy crap.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Holy crap. Right. Yeah. Thank you. It's amazing now.
And she's 5 months now?
Yeah. She'll be 5 months in a week. So
wow.
It's been I don't even know how that happened. I was like, what? I'm a mom to almost a 5-month-old. So when I found out, I was like, wow, okay. So I'm majority of the responsible parent here. And I really need to figure out a way to, let me just take a step back. So last year I was working 12 to 16 hours a day. I did not have my sales funnels fully mapped out in my business. I was making a great deal of money. I was serving clients. I was fully booked. I was doing a lot of private mentoring. But I had no time, and I knew that I am going to be a mom within the next months, and I need to figure out how this is all going to work, because what was more important to me than anything else was that I was present. It's great to be the provider in your family or whatever, but you only have one opportunity to see your daughter or your child at these certain milestones in their life, and it was way more important to me to be present for her than to be just the mom making the money, right? So. Yes. I had to restructure things in a really big way. So I started studying psychological buying patterns, what makes people click the buy button, what makes them, what are they responding to? What are they not responding to? And literally looking and dissecting every single thing that we were doing in our business and making sure that the moves that we were making were entirely strategic to fuel the bigger picture. And that's kind of how I really just took on this so much passion for creating sales funnels and passive revenue, because I saw this is my freedom plan. When you get that first taste of that first $500 to $1,000 of purely passive revenue, you're like, oh snap, I want some more of this. And so that's kind of just how it happened, really.
Excellent. Yeah, I'd have to agree. I came from a background of practicing law where billing at an amazing rate, working for a huge law firm. But I remember the day when it wasn't the first maybe bit of passive revenue that I earned, but I do remember a day when I went out kiteboarding on the water for about 6 hours, and I came in and there was $4,000 in sales, fully passive, and said, I need to get out on the water more often.
Exactly.
And then I went home and did a whole bunch more work on my sales funnel. So I do get that. And yeah, definitely amazing. And we've seen so many people achieve those kind of results, and just it can be life-changing, definitely. Especially for us parents.
Yeah, 100%.
A little more time with the little ones.
Exactly. So everybody wins. It's a win-win for everybody. Yes,
definitely. So you studied the psychology of it. That's interesting, because I do see a lot of people, they kind of go, they look at what other people are doing, they implement it, they drop in some landing pages, throw in some buy buttons, throw out some autoresponder emails, but maybe don't understand why they're setting it up that way. So is there any specific things that you came across that led you to set up sort of specific strategies?
Yeah. So first of all, the most important page in anything in a sales funnel is the page that typically gets forgotten. If you're not really skilled in the sales funnel arena, and that's the thank you page. Like, that's a perfect place to upsell somebody. Or if you give something of value, you're driving them to a page. Now you want to see how they are converting that page. But my other biggest piece of advice is we test everything.
Yep.
So we come up with variations of headlines. We come up with variations of pages. It might be the same exact copy on a page. It might be 2 different images. To give you a perfect real life example, we have a webinar training that's actually a part of our nurture sequences once they get in the sales funnel. And one of the page, 2 identical pages, just 2 different images.
Yep.
One converted at 29%, the other one at 49%. So almost double just for changing up an image.
Wow.
So it's like, and
what was the difference in the image?
One was like me in the water on a beach, and the other one was just just a white, me on like a white background. So the one that was on the beach performed significantly better than the other.
Oh, really? I guess we're visualizing ourselves on the beach, eh?
Maybe. I don't exactly know why. I'm imagining probably because the lifestyle of the photo, like people are like, I want that.
Yeah.
So just
and we found similar things that the image can make the difference. I've seen the scenario where I think we've seen lots of these tests where if the person in the image is looking at the call to action, if the button's over here and I'm looking here, then it performs better than if I'm just even looking right at you.
Well, really, really random stuff that we're finding out lately, and we're actually in the point of testing all this currently in our own business model, is that like random images, like not me, just like something like palm trees or like mountains are performing really well with ads. Like they're getting really, I have no idea why this is.
Yeah.
But so it's really important to test everything. That's like one of my biggest pieces of advice.
Do you have a particular tool you use for the testing side?
So I have a reporting system called Wicked Reports.
Yeah.
I use Infusionsoft, and then Wicked Reports integrates in Infusionsoft. Basically what Wicked Reports does is it takes like from the first click on your Facebook ad, it will tell you over the lifetime which ads led to the most positive ROI.
Yeah.
So it'll be like, you think, because people get so caught up like, oh, what's my
taking notes here.
Okay. People get so caught up with like, what is my cost per conversion? In reality, that really doesn't matter. Because even if you're paying $12 cost per conversion, if that ad over time is leading to $2,000 or $3,000 or $10,000 clients, I'd pay $12 every day for a conversion.
Yeah.
So I think like, get focused on what really matters. And the only way to know that is like, if you have these pieces of software in place that you can just simply pull a report every day and be like, okay, what ads am I turning up the volume on? What audiences are performing really well? Because even though like cost per conversion might be really low in a particular audience, it actually doesn't mean that audience performs the best over time. Right? So this is really important stuff to know. Also, like we'll pop up thank you pages, right? Typical industry average performance on a thank you page upsell is 2 to 3%. Well, what if you can just optimize that page by making small isolated changes? What if you change the headline one day and then you run it for a week and then you see if the headline performs better? And then you go back and you change the sub headlining, or you change the background of the page. Like, you make small changes so you know what performed better than the other, and you split test it.
Yep.
And so, like, then you can go from a conversion of 29% to 49%. Like, that's double, basically. That's basically double. And I didn't spend $1 more on marketing, which is the best news about it, right?
Yeah, definitely on the testing side, that can make a huge difference. I want to back it up just a step for some of the people who maybe aren't as familiar with the, I mean, you've got a pretty elaborate system in place. So at a high level, what's your sales funnel look like, sort of step by step from the top? Are you starting with the Facebook ads primarily and going to a landing page and then signing up for email, or what does that look like? The high steps that people go through.
Right. Well, okay. So it actually really depends on what the end goal is. So we actually like reverse engineer everything that we do. So we're like, because if you want somebody to end up in a $10,000 program, like,
well, let's say we're trying to get them into an online course. What would you recommend as a funnel for people?
Okay. So free opt-in. So most downloaded free opt-ins. Well, in creating an opt-in, first of all, so I won't get ahead of myself, it should be something that's can be consumed in under 5 minutes. So it should not be like a 42-page ebook necessarily, especially if you're targeting like new moms or mommypreneurs. Like, I don't have time to read a 42-page ebook. So, chances are I'm not going to get to the end of that and see the next action step. So be cognizant of who your audience is that you're appealing to when you're crafting your opt-in. Make sure it's something that can be easily digested and implemented quickly. Okay. Think like these people want results.
Okay. And so just for those who don't know the opt-in side, that's something that you're giving away for free, essentially in exchange for an email. So you opt in by giving me your email. We give you this 1-page, 10-point checklist or download, right?
Perfect. Okay. And solve one problem. Don't solve all the world's problems in your opt-in because your conversion rates are going to suck. So just try to solve one problem within your opt-in. The best way that I can describe it actually is I look at businesses as if like I'm going over the business, like taking an aerial view. And let's just think that the entire business is your favorite kind of pie, like whatever you kind of pie you love, like maybe banana cream pie, right? I really like that. And the opt-in is the first sliver of this pie. And it's just going to give them a taste, but it also is going to actually get them results if they take action. Okay. It's not just like useless information. Like, it should be extremely valuable because you have to think that's the point of entry. That's the moment they get to decide whether you're the one for them or if they kind of want to know more or if they absolutely think you suck. And hopefully the other, so you give them I
do see some people doing the wrong thing with the opt-ins in exactly that, and then they're not giving great value. And they think, well, I'm giving this away for free. I just want to get that email. It doesn't really matter. Once they get it, I've got their email. But when you do that, you've kind of burned that email address or that connection because now they've given you something and you've given them something of not great value. So I totally agree. When you're giving away, especially stuff for free, set that value at something that you'd hope people would pay for.
Oh my God. So I had a real life example of that happen to me. And I just, and this person's supposedly like a big deal in the industry. And I'm just like, I can't work with them because I felt like it was like a Word document and I was like, had red all over it when I got it. And I'm like, what? You're training like multi-million-dollar sales coaches? Like, what? This just doesn't align for me, and maybe she's wonderful at it, but it matters. First impressions matter because you can't go back and do that moment all over again. You're right. You lose credibility. So opt-ins are really important. It's like your new business card, So make sure it rocks. Make sure they're going to get results. So that's the first thing.
But how do you get them to the opt-in? So let's say I'm coming along and I don't have a list. I don't have anyone to send this to. I've got my opt-in. So I've got my download where I'm going to exchange that for the email. But how do I get people to come and give? Where do they come from?
So for us, 2 ways, like organic visibility. So make sure you are where your tribe is hanging out. Like if you don't have that marketing budget in place yet, like we'll work to that. When I first started off in this industry, I didn't have a marketing budget. Like, marketing budget, what? I committed to showing up. Like I was like, a lunatic. I set aside, like I made like a domination calendar, and I still give this to my clients. We still use it in my business today. I don't do it now. I have an assistant, but when I did it when I started off, like I went through and created like a space where all of my peeps were hanging out, where I thought like, okay, this is, and it's not on every platform. Also, like people can get like so caught up in, oh, I have to be here and I have to be here and I have to. Well, you really don't. I really only focus on like 2 or 3 and really like zone in on one where I completely dominate. And for me, it's
so that you'd pick. So yeah, I was going to say, so you'd pick one, like say everybody's on Facebook. We're just going to do Facebook groups rather than trying to be on Facebook and Snapchat and Twitter and everywhere else.
Periscope and Instagram and Pinterest. It's like, I have a couple pins on Pinterest, but it's just not my thing. It's not where my people hang out. So why the heck would I even try to be there? You know?
Well,
so
even if they were on all of these platforms, for you to try and manage 5, 10
that's just crazy. That's just craziness. So at first it was me, and I was like committing 2 hours a day for the first 30 days that I was in business to be super present in Facebook groups, because I was very clear about who I could serve. And those were service-based online entrepreneurs. And so that's my tribe. And I know who they are. So they're hanging out in Facebook groups. And typically the women that I attract are mid 30s to early 50s. So they're on Facebook. They're certainly not on Snapchat, you know? So I just committed to being extra visible. I would just add value. I actually wasn't selling anything. I was just like kind of like priming the slate, you know, planting seeds. So
giving advice, answering questions, that kind of stuff?
Absolutely. Like, hey, I would introduce myself and then I'd be like, hey, I'm here for 15 minutes today or an hour or whatever. You know, can I answer some questions for you in relation to whatever?
And you do this in other people's Facebook groups?
Yes, I did that. So you have to see if that's allowed, obviously. So actually in my domination plan, it gives all the rules for every group that I'm in. Right. So that I'm sure that, okay, this is okay to do and this is not okay. But there are many groups that will allow you to do that, actually. Yeah,
and it's not like you're there posting promotional links, which that's...
No, you're just adding value.
Yeah, people answering questions and adding value, that's usually a great thing.
Yeah, so you can do that and then work your way up to having a small marketing budget. And obviously, like driving traffic, it works great when you figure out kind of like what works for your business. So we use Facebook ads a lot. We spend a good amount of money on Facebook ads today, but that wasn't always the case. I started with small budgets. I started with $5 per day per ad to do the testing. And I still do that. And we'll test, 20 to 30 variations of ads. We'll spend a couple $100s in 3 to 5 days. We'll turn off the ads that are not performing, and then we'll turn up the ads that are performing. And that's how we've, really increased our presence. And then, now we build our list kind of rapidly, but it really was just first becoming extremely visible. And then, after that point, so I would be having these conversations with people in Facebook groups. And this was even before I had my own Facebook group too. So I would then go back and just send them I would make up like a little template of a message, and I'd be like, hey, so nice talking to you today. Thanks for taking the time, becoming vulnerable, telling me what's up. I actually have this free gift that I would love to offer you. Here, you can click this link and download it. So you're not promoting in the group. You're actually building relationships with these people. They already know who you are. So you're not spamming people because that's not cool. And then they can take it or leave it.
Right. And so that's the link to your opt-in page. So you've got a page now where they can download an ebook or a PDF or something like that. Yeah. Excellent.
Right. And then also you can you can also offer other tiers of value. You might want to do a webinar training, or you might want to line up a couple webinar trainings that are specific to your area of expertise. And then you've already started building relationships with people. So now you can absolutely go back and ask them to join.
Right.
And then it's not like, who's this chick? She's driving me to sign up for something. It doesn't, you've already built a rapport with these people. Yeah. So they're looking forward to hearing from you. And to be completely honest, this is how I built my Facebook group. So I was having conversations with other people in other Facebook group. I was extremely present for a good 30-day period, every single day. Some days I would hear crickets. It didn't matter. I still went back, because regardless if people aren't always responding, but they're watching. They're always watching. Yeah. So all those people that I had, then given a free gift to, I then went back. I just went through all my messages in my Facebook inbox, and I had spoken to hundreds of people. And I said, hey, so I created this community, and it's for women, and this is what we do. And it's like, the main purpose is to build each other up, blah, 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 whatever. I would love for you to join. Here's the link. And within 1 week, I built it organically by 1,000 members. There was no secret sauce behind this. I just reached out and talked to people.
Excellent.
Yeah. So that's cool too. And then obviously that's a basis for, building long-term relationships with people as well. Yep. So those are all free techniques. Except for the Facebook ads, obviously, testing the Facebook ads. But.
Right. But I like that first step of going out with no marketing budget. I mean, the $5 a day Facebook ads is great, but even that first step of finding those groups, participating them, adding value, it's not scalable to millions of people, but you don't need that. You just need to start to build those relationships and get that initial seed, get that coming in. And then, like you said, you can go to 1,000 people in a Facebook group pretty quickly. And
now actually, so things have changed drastically since I started. So now we have this live streaming option, and I love Facebook Live. I do a lot of Facebook Lives. I actually do a lot of Facebook Lives in my group too. And they've been hugely significant for me. So I think it's because there's other than words, like people are seeing your emotions. People are seeing, are you comfortable talking about this topic? Like, yeah, and you're definitely building another layer of credibility when you're doing a video. So I would suggest start putting yourself out there on video, like get uncomfortable, you got to start somewhere.
And when you do your video, are you doing Q&A type sessions or just delivering a lesson?
So I will have a couple points that I want to talk about, and then I'll always leave it open to the comments. Be like, hey, what do you guys think about this? Or are there any questions you have in regards to this topic? I always will give them one call to action. I try to stick to one. Sometimes it's two. It's better if you just do one. Yeah. So make it it could be something so simple. It could be 3 tips to boosting your sales through the use of a sales funnel. I just made that up, obviously. Yeah. And then give them their 3 tips, but then interact with them. It's really important that you are exchanging some kind of dialogue, because then they think she cares about me. Every time that someone pops up, I'll say hello to them. I'll ask everybody that's in the room or whatever you want to call it to introduce themselves, because Facebook doesn't always tell me who's there. So I'm like, who's tuning in with me? Who's hanging out with me here today? Who are you? Yeah. Where are you from right now? Where are you right now? And I'll explain where I am, and I'll explain who I am. And so you're kind of building, that trust and that know, like, and trust factor right there just by doing that. It's a real simple thing to do.
Excellent. Okay. So they've clicked on the ad, or they've met you in the Facebook group. They've come over, they've hit a page where they've downloaded an opt-in or something of value you've given them. Now you've got their email. What do you do with that to take that through to the sale?
So, I immediately upsell them into something.
Immediately. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Because a lot of people go through a bit more of a nurturing, friendly process. So they download and immediately are like, do you want to buy something?
Yep.
Okay.
So thank you page upsells. So they're on all of my thank you pages. Some of them convert over 8%, which is huge, because I just covered my marketing budget plus some by just offering a thank you page upsell. So it's not going to push you away. It's like, hey, while you're here, well, first of all, really important to tell you on your thank you page, please let them know that whatever they've opted in for is on its way to them.
Right. So they don't just feel that thanks for your email. Buy something.
Yeah, you just wanted my email address. Now this chick wants me to just buy something right off the bat. Yeah. So that's been really crucial in our business stuff. So it'll be like, hey, thanks for downloading my Money Mojo guide. It's currently on its way to your inbox, but wait while you're here. And we'll split test that too. So we have a video one, a short video. It's 2+ minutes. And then we have a written out sales page. I'll just show them. And it is a special offer. It's not a marketing ploy. So we're giving them a discount that's only available once on this page. That's it. You can only buy it here. Yep. You'll have to see it again at the special price. We offer it to them. So, 98% of people may say no, but it's the 2% that might say yes. That can be really beneficial for your business. Right. You're still going to get the guide in their inbox, or the course guide, or the PDF, or the checklist, or whatever it is. So that's still coming to them. Yeah. That'll be there. And then in that guide or whatever it is, like make sure I always introduce myself. So the first page of whatever I'm giving away is clearly the name of whatever I'm giving away. So they know I'm in the right place,
Yeah.
It's everything that I do is fully branded. The next page is like, hey, this is who I am. And this is why you're here. And, just a little bit of background about myself, because why not? You want to build who you are up so they feel like this person didn't pop up out of nowhere yesterday. Like, you want to position yourself like your stuff. And then you go into the points of whatever it is, or the checklist or the research, whatever you're giving away, you do that. And then the last page is, well, what do you want them to do now?
Right.
Because if you don't tell them what to do, they're simply going to do nothing. But this is prime real estate for you to tell them what to do. Again, if only 2 to 3% of people take action, that's still 2 to 3% of people. Then it becomes a numbers game, right?
Yeah.
So we'll give them a call to action, and that is directly dependent upon where we actually want them to go after that. What's the bigger picture here?
Yeah. Now the thank you page upsell, I'm curious about that one. I do see we have that kind of stuff built right into Thinkific actually. So actually a lot of this stuff we're talking about, you can do right within our platform, and I see people doing it. The one thing I'm curious about your thank you page upsell is what kind of price points are you putting in there? Because for a lot of these people, they've had little exposure to you. This is sort of their first time. They've just given you the email, they're getting the free download, and you're saying, here's something to buy. What price point are you often offering it there?
Yeah. Under $100 for sure.
Okay.
And I'm glad that you asked that. That's a good point to make. Yes, for sure. Under $100. And usually, the ones that we have on our thank you page upsells are $77 actually. So it's actually a $97 program. And it's actually valued at $797. We sell it for $97 regularly, but we have it discounted for $77 on our thank you page upsell.
Gotcha.
So that's the only time they'll ever get exposure to that product or that price point.
Okay.
And we do include also, like on the cart checkout pages, we do include testimonials from people that have used the product. Mm-hmm. So it's building some trust in who we are. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I love the testimonial side too. That definitely helps. But that's not your big offering. Then you go on for more email relationship and work up towards. You know what happens, which is like super crazy, but it happens all the time. Actually just happened last week. So I have a $27 offer. I've sold over 1,000 of them. But that offer, so 1,000 times 27, that's only $27,000 worth of revenue. You're like, well, that's not enough to live off of, right? Well, no, it's not. But that product has led to now, I would say, over $80,000 of additional revenue, because people that have bought that product have gotten so much value at that low price point level that they're like, oh my God, how can I get this woman on my team to help me with all the other stuff? Because if I took away this much in $27 product, what is she going to give me at $10,000? Right.
So I had somebody last week that bought the $27 product. She's like, oh my God, this is better than a course I paid $4,000 for. Like, oh my God, you made it so simple, so easy to digest. I'm getting results already. Yeah. And she purchased my $10,000 program.
Excellent.
So we don't rely upon that happening. There's no way for us to gauge who's going to do that, but that actually happens more often than you think.
Wow. So, excellent. But I think you identified there, the key to that and people going, I think in any step in the process, the key to people going to that next level is that they get more value than they expected at each level. So they gave you $27, they got $4,000 worth of value. Now the $10,000 decision becomes a lot easier for them because they think they're getting, that $100,000 in value, which hopefully they are. Right.
Obviously the $10,000 level is like, it's me, it's a custom strategy. I'm actually included. Right. And so it's a totally different, level of exposure and totally different. So, but they see if this person put that much thought into a $27 product, she's going to kill it when I get to work with her one-on-one.
Right. Yeah.
Well, not one-on-one, but you know what I mean? Like when I actually get to see her and meet her in person and do that.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay. So just to take a different tact at this point, I know that you, do some drip scheduling, or you schedule the release of content out within your program. Can you tell us a little bit about why you do that?
You mean the Legendary Entrepreneur program that we just launched?
Yeah. So, okay. So you've got the Legendary Entrepreneur Program just coming out. You're mentioning that even within your programs, you like to slowly release. So once someone signs up, they're not just immediately hit with everything that you've got.
Yes.
You've got a lot of resources for them. And so you slowly release them out over time. We generally refer to that as drip scheduling, but it's scheduled content release. Why are you doing that?
We do that specifically because now I've facilitated quite a few courses. I actually have a course that's a year long. Mm-hmm. And what I have seen is the way that people take the most action and get the best results is when it's served up to them in bite-sized increments. So if I give them all the goods at once, they actually don't take action as much as they have something to look forward to. They just watch this one module, and they're micro modules. They're only 10 to 15 minutes. They're not like 60-minute, oh my gosh. So there's absolutely a reason to that, because it's very digestible. It's so easy to do it. It's like, there's no reason why you can't watch this module right now. There's no reason why you can't find an extra 10 or 15 minutes in a day. So they watch the module. We make it even easier for them. Yeah. They go straight after the module, goes straight over to the homework worksheet that's interactive. You don't have to print it out, nothing. You just fill out the questions, which are completely related to the module. The emails the answers are emailed to you directly. And then you check mark off in your custom user dashboard, or you get I think a star lights up too, like your star, and then you go talk about it in the group. So you get support, accountability, all that cool stuff. And it keeps you on track. And it also, so they're anxious for the next module. Instead of like, if I revealed all 52 modules at once, they'd be like, oh my God, I don't know what to do with this. Like, I'm just gonna do nothing because I'm completely overwhelmed. And that's what we wanted to avoid. And I know even in my own experience of taking a program, like if I just log in and I'm like, what, where do I start? Like confused buyers buy nothing. They buy nothing. They do nothing. Confused people do nothing. So we wanted to remove the confusion out of the equation, and we wanted to set them up for success. So the only thing they could do was take action.
Excellent. Okay. And so by releasing that content slowly over time, they come in, they get the small amount, they're finish it, and maybe they're hungry for more at that point, but you're saying, no, wait, the rest will come in a week. Go act on that.
And the other thing is everybody wants to jump from from their starting point to passive revenue and sales and super complex sales funnels. Like, you don't need that right now. I promise you, you do not need to worry about creating passive income if you haven't had any income at the moment, because there's probably something else going on there. So it's actually served up to them in a way that they need it to get served up to them. Because if you don't start with your own personal development and remove some of that baggage that we carry around as humans throughout our life, you can't charge the prices that you want to charge. You can't become as successful as you want to become, because you have to work through some of that stuff first. So you have to become more confident. You have to increase the belief in yourself. You have to know who you are, what your greatest gifts are. You have to be able to communicate that. These pieces are so much more crucial in the beginning stages than jumping into learning how to create passive revenue, because you're not going to do it successfully if you don't have the foundation built first. Right.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. So you're essentially, the content is slowly leveling up as they go through it. And that's why part of the reason why you're holding off on giving it to them is, you're not quite ready for this. Let's work up to it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Great. Excellent. And the feedback is good on that.
Oh my God. They're going crazy. And the thing is, they are getting results. After week 1 and 2 already, they're like, wow, I didn't think I needed to go back to the starting point and go through all this stuff again. But when I did it, I realized how much I needed it. And they're getting results. People have already gotten more clients, booked more consultations, fully one woman's like, I've never not offered someone a discount until I did this course or this module. And she's like, I just charged full price for the first time in my business. So basically the course in a week has already covered its cost, which is incredible. So it does work that way when it's served up in small pieces. So it makes it so easy for them to take action, and action breeds results.
Excellent. All right. Just looking if there was other stuff. I mean, it sounds like things are going spectacular for you. So Legendary Entrepreneur, that's just launched just recently, or going through launch right now. Mm-hmm. So if they want to find out more about that, is that at stephanienicklich.com?
Yeah, it's just stephanienikolich.com/TLE. So it's like the legendary entrepreneur, which is just /TLE.
Excellent.
Yeah. So it's amazing. It's really.
And so that's for your women entrepreneurs coaching.
Oh, there's men in our group too, but they're super quiet. We have a private Facebook group specifically called The Legendary Entrepreneur. That's for people in the program, because one of the things is even if you buy a product or a program or a service, there has to be some kind of additional support. We wanted to build in. So actually I have live office hour access. I'm there Tuesdays and Thursdays for an hour where I'm answering questions through the journey, because I want people to feel fully supported at any level, any level of the game that they're at. And the best way to do that is just to be surrounded by people that are on the same track. I know a lot of times, like in our family life, our spouses or whatever, if they're not entrepreneurs, they really don't understand, like, what are you doing all day online,
Right.
So it's really important to be surrounded by people that understand and get us. And whether we're struggling or we're successful, at least we know we're fully supported.
Right. Yeah. And I think that also adds a lot of value when people are making that purchase decision. So we've looked a lot at pricing of online products and how to change that perceived value and the value that you actually give them. And so things like private Facebook groups, things like you're doing the private office hours, excellent in terms of changing that overall value of the product. So it's, you can have your on-demand product, but then adding things like that really, really increases that value and allows you to kind of sell it at a much higher price point because people are getting a much higher value out of it. I think it also really increases the success rate of people that come out of those kind of programs by adding some of that. And I know even at Thinkific, we're really big on support and get rave reviews around it, but it's because we add a lot of extra value by just being here to support people. And that it's not as, you can definitely scale it. It's not as scalable as just hitting people with on-demand, fully passive information, but that has a limit in terms of how helpful it can be. So it's great to add all of the extra stuff around it. So you've got the private Facebook group, you've got private coaching hours. Is there other things that you've done to change that value or perceived value of your product?
Yeah. And so it's a custom user dashboard. So depending on what your sign-up date is, that's how you know when the courses are revealed to you. So you're going to get once a week, every 7 days you get a new course. We've added in some bonuses at milestones within the program. So we want to encourage people to stick with it, because most people, they want to give up after a certain amount of time. They're like, oh, I haven't logged in. It's like, if you stick with this, we're going to reward you based on your positive behavior. And so at the 3-month, the 6-month, the 9-month, and the 12-month mark, the 12-month bonus is like, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's like everybody will want it. Well, that one's like a more of like, I can't give it away to everybody, obviously, but it's like a $2,000 to $3,000 real thing that will help.
So you're getting into physical goods, actually sending people?
Yeah. That will actually like help you build your business. So it's really, really important. So yeah, because I do believe in rewarding people for taking action. So yeah, 3-month, 6-month, 9-month, and 12-month, like milestones, you get bonuses revealed in your custom user dashboard. They're only available to you. And so it's anything, between something that I originally charged $97 for all the way up to $2,000, $3,000 programs, or even like tangible products. And
so when do you let them know that that's coming? So like I said, within Thinkific, you can do a lot of this kind of stuff with scheduling and releasing thing over time and doing bonuses and the sort of tick marks as you move through and those pats on the backs. But I'm curious, like the psychology of it, because there's a lot of that going on here. When do you tell someone, hey, at 12 months, you'll get this thing? Because you're saying you're not going to share it with us now. You're not going to share it do you share it in the sales funnel? Do you share it when they're at 1 month, 9 months? Where do you give that carrot?
So right now it's all question marks. We've just told them that there's values behind the things that they get as the program continues on. And that when they get to that point, it unlocks that. I don't know at what point we're actually going to tell them what that is, because we have to be kind of careful with that, because some people might be starting the program and you might be at the 12-month mark.
Oh, right.
So yeah. So
eventually that's going to happen. You're going to give it away and maybe the cat's out of the bag. I guess part of it can be, you got to keep this secret.
Yeah. I think that there's something behind the anticipation though. Like this is like a highly sought after $2,000 to $3,000 thing to help you build your business. Is like, well, you'll find out when you get there. I just hang in there,
Oh, that's great. I love it. It's very gamified. It's
absolutely gamified. So
Yeah.
my project manager came to me and she's like, I kind of have this vision for this program because she's based on me and everything that I do. And she's like, I kind of want to make it like a gamification somehow. And I was like, oh, we can totally do that. And she's like, you sure? And I'm like, oh, we could totally do that. And I was like, basically just write something up. Like, what do you think this should look like? And come to me, we'll kind of work on this together. And then I'll submit it to the developer and the design team and we'll just bring it to life. Like it totally can happen. And so it happened. And she's like, oh my God, like, how is this even possible? And I'm like, anything's possible over here. You know, I think we really put so much into it because the user experience is really important to us. I wanted to stand out from any other program that's ever been released to the market.
Right.
Because, you know, that's the whole thing. It's like everything that we do in business is extremely well thought out and there's a lot of passion behind it. And if you're skimping on the way that it's delivered, people are going to notice that, you know? And so a lot of times people don't really see everything that happens behind the scenes, but when you do get to log into a custom user dashboard that's like specific to you and you get to put your dream goal at top and you get to put your avatar, your picture, and you just like, there's something more special about it. And they can see how much time we've actually taken behind the scenes to make this happen for them.
Excellent. Yeah, it sounds like a wonderful program. And so end result for it for most people, is it different for each person? Is it building that online business? Is it any business?
Yeah, it's building an online business from A to Z. It's anybody that's really looking to increase their exposure, their income in an online space. So maybe they're really, you know, they could be just starting out. They could be really good at what they do, but they don't exactly know, like, systematically and strategically, how do I monetize this? How do I actually make something out of this? So it's a really great program. It definitely starts with a lot of the mindset work, a lot of the inner work, because if you don't have that happening first, then you can't actually get to the next levels. So it's nuts and bolts. It's everything that's covered in the program, but it's released at specific times. Like I said, like we don't get into sales funnels and then moving into passive revenue until like around month 4 or 5, because it shouldn't actually be a priority right now if you're making $0.
Gotcha. Okay, excellent. Great. Well, so if people are looking to learn more about Stephanie, it sounds like the best starting place is stephanienicklich.com and stephanienicklich.com/TLE. And for those of you who are interested in learning more about the sales funnels, it sounds like you have some great sales funnels. So I always suggest just go and even, sign up to get in one and then see what kind of stuff you feed them. So then we can learn from how you're running those psychological sales funnels on us. So I guess at stephanienicklich.com/TLE is a great place to get started to sort of learn about that kind of sales funnel and see what you're doing if they want to learn a little bit more about that, or also if they're interested in the program. Excellent. Thanks so much. Anything else you want to add?
No, thanks for having me here today. I really appreciate it. I love hanging out with other entrepreneurs that are really on a mission to do incredible things. Everybody has these really great gifts that the world needs you. The world needs every single person that's here with us today. And when I fully immersed myself in my purpose and got rid of all whatever that negative stuff that was going on, I was like, I'm just a small town girl. Can I really do this? And I got out of my own way. I was able to make a huge, significant impact on a lot of other people's businesses, thousands at this point. And I love what I do. And as a result, I can leave a legacy for my family. So, wherever you are, make sure that you're supported. There's a lot of people out there that care about you and have your back.
Great. Thanks so much, Stephanie. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.